Hello, guys. My name is Ken Baczynski. I'm an attorney licensed to practice law in the state of New Jersey, and I'm very happy to be with you guys today on behalf of Quimby to start a course, or at least to teach you a course called Introduction to New Jersey Landlord-Tenant Law in the Post-COVID Area. First, I want to thank the fine folks at Quimby for having me back again. They're a great organization. Congratulations to you for choosing them as your CLE provider. I particularly want to thank Jillian for all her help and really making this happen. So she's terrific. Quimby's a terrific organization, and you're going to be very happy. So we have a lot of information to cover today. I'm excited to be with you, and I really mean that. I'm excited to be with you, and I'll tell you why, or at least hopefully you'll pick that up as we go. Let me just give you a few seconds of my background just so we're kind of clear on what we're doing here and where my information is coming from. I've been an attorney in the state of New Jersey for 25 years. I practiced, ever since day one, I've practiced in residential and commercial landlord-tenant law, from evictions to collections to litigation of various types. I've handled some HUD matters as well, housing discrimination matters, and so forth and so on. The balance, I'd say approximately 70%, 65 to 70% of my practice is landlord-tenant. The balance is personal injury. So for me, everything I'm going to discuss with you today comes from practical experience. Obviously, I've read a lot in my career so far, and I've studied and experienced a lot. But again, the practical experience is really the touchstone here, and particularly over the last few years. I represent approximately 40 residential properties in the state of New Jersey, and I represent various commercial developers, landlords, in respect to or with respect to commercial properties. So again, we're going to talk about a whole penumbra. We're going to go back and forth between residential and commercial, probably more a little bit on residential, which has been the focus ever since March of 20, when the pandemic really started in this country, at least. And with all that being said, let's get into this. Okay, as a matter of housekeeping, I've given you guys an outline that we're going to generally follow. I'll certainly deviate from it. I'm going to add to it a little bit, but it's really just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of where we're going. I've also given you guys some materials. The materials are primarily made up of statutory enactments or statutes, and I threw in one form pretty much because as you're going to hear me discuss in this lecture, at least, you're going to hear me discuss that many of the pleadings we will need, or many of the documents we need nowadays, are online and provided to us by the court system. So it's a little bit of I didn't think there was really any point in me reproducing and recopying these documents for you. And hopefully I think this all makes sense. So with all that said, where do we start? Well, the first thing I want to mention is, as I understand it from speaking to the fine folks at Quimby, this is a course for newly admitted attorneys. So first of all, congratulations on passing the bar. Don't ever forget that that is an accomplishment. We tend to forget that as we practice longer and longer. But congratulations on that. That's nothing to sneeze at. You're actually at an advantage, because I'll tell you why. As a newly admitted attorney, really, folks, since January of 20, which is now going back over 2 years ago, so much has happened that we have gone back and forth, stop and go, yin and yang, that honestly, had you been practicing for many, many years before that, it would almost like trying to learn how to ride a bicycle the second time. To some extent, so much has happened in the last 2 years. You're kind of lucky you're learning this now, if this is what you're learning now. So don't feel that this is overwhelming or that you're at a disadvantage. Trust me when I tell you, there is more confusion now, I think, than in my whole career I've ever seen, ever. And when I first started, there was a lot of confusion, which I'll talk about in a second. So we've got the outline, we've got the materials. First caveat, I'm talking today to you guys about New Jersey law. I'm not going to talk, even though I have in the past, lectured on other states' laws or what other states are doing or what the federal government might have been doing. We're going to keep this strictly to New Jersey, so we're going to keep this really, really much at home, which is a good thing. So if there are any practitioners who practice in other states, do yourself a favor. Do not assume whatever I say here is going to be the law in Maryland, Connecticut, California, or anywhere else.